Hello, ladies and gentlemen of America. We've heard a lot recently in the presidential campaign that Donald Trump is just a celebrity sideshow, that he is just appealing to very angry people, and that he's a protest candidate, and that he doesn't really have serious policy proposals that deal with problems in a serious way. But in fact, when you look at what he's proposed, he has more specific policy proposals than any other candidate in the race. Now, we know recently he has released his immigration plan, and that has gotten a lot of press. But today, I want to deal with another issue that is very important to the American people, and that is taxes. Now, Donald Trump, in his book, Time to Get Tough, that he wrote before the 2012 election, he laid out a very specific tax plan. It consists of 5 parts, and I'm surprised the media hasn't covered it because it is a very specific tax plan, and it's as follows. Number 1, eliminate the estate tax or death tax. Number 2, lower rates on capital gains and dividend taxes. Number 3, eliminate the corporate income tax, which the United States is second highest in the world. Number 4, tax companies that outsource jobs from the United States and reward companies that are loyal to the United States. Number 5, a flat tax plan for all U.S. citizens. Now, in regards to the estate tax, Obama raised it to 40%. Now, how fair is it if you worked your whole life in a family business and you want to pass it on to your children, and the government sweeps in and takes nearly half of everything you've earned? Now, in Obama's world, that's fair, and he still wants to raise it to 45%. A Congressional Budget Office report showed that would strip $1.6 trillion in capital from small businesses and out of the hands of job creators. That means a loss of 1.5 million new jobs, according to the CBO. And the kicker is, the death tax only raises a tiny 1% of all federal revenue. So we kill 1.5 million jobs and take $1.6 trillion of capital assets out of the hands of small businesses for 1% of revenue. That's called bad economics, or Obamonomics if you prefer. The second thing Trump wants to do is to cut taxes in capital gains and in dividends. This tax obviously discourages investments in stocks, real estate, and other things of value. This kills jobs, and by lowering these rates, it'll encourage capital investment in this country. Thirdly, Trump wants to eliminate the corporate income tax, which the U.S. has the second highest corporate income tax in the world. He wants to take the rate from 39% to 0. As a point of comparison, the international average is 26%. Now, if we want to encourage companies and corporations to stay in this country, we should not want to punish them with a corporate tax rate almost higher than any other place in the world. We should want to encourage those jobs to stay in this country and not go to places like China, Mexico, South Asia, and other countries in Latin America, which are more than happy to host those companies and take those jobs. If an American company outsources jobs to another country, it pays a 20% tax. However, if a company remains or returns to the United States, it pays no tax. This is called economic nationalism, that encourages economic growth, investments, and jobs in this country, and not to go overseas. Also, any country that wants access to the U.S. market, it should pay a 20% tax. China costs this country $300 billion a year in lost revenue through the trade deficits we have with the Chinese. Do you realize even just leveling the playing field with China for a decade would be the equivalent of paying down 1/5 of our national debt? This means transferring the tax burden from American companies and taxpayers to foreign competitors. Which brings me to the fifth and final part of Trump's tax plan. which is replacing and simplifying the income tax with a flat tax. It's called the 1, 5, 10, 15 income tax plan. If you make up to $30,000 a year, you pay 1%. From $30,000 to $100,000, you pay 5%. From $100,000 to $1 million, you pay 10%. $1 million or above, you pay a 15% flat tax. This is a flat tax that will lower and simplify the income tax burden for all Americans. Ladies and gentlemen, this country is going off a cliff. 93 million Americans are out of the labor force. 46 million people are on food stamps. 50 million people are below the poverty line. Our national debt is out of control. It's $18+ trillion. Even if the government could save $1 billion a day, it would take over 40 years just to pay off the principal of the debt, not including the interest. That's not going to happen with the clueless and spineless leaders we have in Washington. We need a man with a plan, and that man is Donald Trump. Let's make America great again. Thank you, and God bless America.